This week on the Xander Effect, actress and scream queen Sadie Katz joins me and talks to me a little bit about her experiences in horror movies and what fun she had during Oscar week. All this, plus this week in entertainment, sports, and video games starts right now.
Live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the party. Start the party. Live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the party. Start the party.
Girl, I'm dangerous like tightrope. No talking, not that of a maestro. More like that lizard from Geico. When I lick, you go psycho. Downtown, I'm more famous than Michael. My game, I gave it to Tycho. Gene Simmons of my time. Whoa, got mind control, damn control. Up to your spine and back down to your toes. Melt you, little mama, like pie mode. Hot like the summer.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. In entertainment news, Bruno Mars and Janet Jackson headline this year's 2020 Essence Festival. And basically, the Essence magazine is celebrating 50 years of the magazine being around. And so far, Bruno Mars is actually really excited because this is the first time he's performing at this festival. Not only that, the festival is also going to be 3 to 5 days long, each day celebrating the year that Essence magazine has been around. So that should be really exciting for Bruno Mars and the rest of the fans that are with Janet Jackson and Essence magazine fans as well. They have a long lineup, for the festival, and it's going to be held in New Orleans. So it should be an incredible event. It should be fantastic, especially since you have like two huge headliners right there. And yeah, it's going to be a great event. In other entertainment news, the new trailer for Stranger Things, the 4th season, is out, and it's a very interesting trailer. It's it's not even a trailer; it's a teaser actually to the new season that's coming up. And if you watch, spoiler alert by the way, in case you haven't seen it. It starts off in the snow, somewhere in the snow. I'm assuming it's Russian because a lot of it seems like there's prisoners or workers that are hammering on a railroad in the middle of the snow, and the army guys or the military men that are around them seems like they're in Russian uniform. So I'm assuming that it's in Russia. Maybe not. Who knows? It could still be in the same little town. I have no idea. But it's very interesting because Chief Hopper, played by David Harbour, is alive. That's pretty much how the teaser ends. Is they zoom in on a guy that's just hammering away at the nails at the spikes into the railroads, and he takes off his beanie, and it's Hopper, and he's bald, like he's completely bald. So that brings up the question as how in the is he alive? Like, how is he alive? When last we saw him at the end of season 3, he sacrificed himself and went up against Mind Flayer. And because Mind Flayer was trying to come back into our realm yet again, and this time he had possessed a bunch of people and liquefied them in order to gain some sort of a body and able to be here in our plane of existence instead of his world, which is the Upside Down. So Joyce, which is played by Winona Ryder, she went with Hopper to the Russian because the Russians had a secret laboratory. They were also experimenting as well with the Upside Down, and Hopper went in there to try to stop this monster, the Mind Flayer, from coming into our realm again, while the kids were battling it on another part of town. So when this happened, Hopper sacrificed his life, and there was a huge explosion to the point that they closed the gate yet again. We were under the assumption that Hopper was killed. He was done. Suddenly he appears in the teaser. That is insane. So now's the question, why don't these people just go ahead and stay dead? I mean, first you got 11 that we figured she died in the very first season. Now you have Hopper that somehow, some way comes back to life. These people just don't like staying dead, apparently. So, which is cool though, because I actually like both the character 11 and Hopper. They both actually make the show. They're part of the building blocks of this show being so successful. So it was really, I was sad to see Hopper go, to be perfectly honest with you, especially when 11 started reading, his letters and stuff like that. I actually shed a tear when I saw that, because I was heartbroken. Hopper's such a nice guy, great dad to 11, and to see him get killed the way he did, to sacrifice his life, that was really sad. But now it's time to find out, how in the world did is he alive, A, and B, where the hell is he? How is he in Russian? How is he under the custody of these military guys? All these questions and more hopefully will be answered in season 4 of Netflix's Stranger Things. In other entertainment news, also coming to Netflix is going to end up being Masters of the Universe. Kevin Smith decided to, take his love of comic books and everything retro and bring it back. Apparently, he decided to start a brand new version of Masters of the Universe called Masters of the Universe Revelation. And according to reports, it's where Masters of the Universe left off. Now, mind you, this is an animated series, so don't get your hopes up. It's not live action or anything, but it basically picks up where Masters of the Universe left off. And Kevin Smith, he decided to go ahead and make this happen. And he's got an all-star cast. I'm saying he's got a huge cast in front of him, which basically consists of Mark Hamill as Skeletor, which would be really cool because, he comes from a background of voiceover. When he did Batman, he was the voice of the Joker with Batman the Animated Series. Lena Headey as Evelyn. Chris Wood as Prince Adam and He-Man. Chris Wood, you might remember him. He's been in a lot of DC TV shows. Well, actually, he was on Supergirl. Sarah Michelle Gellar, which is really cool to see her come back into the spotlight. She's going to end up playing the part of Tila. Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms. Stephen Root as Cringer, which is really cool because, he's the guy from Office Space and he's hilarious. So that'll be very interesting to see him play Cringer. Diedrich Bader as King Randor, aka Trapjaw. Or also Trapjaw. Griffin Newman as Orko. Tiffany Smith as Andra, Henry Rollins as Triclops, Alan Oppenheimer as Mossman, Susan Eisenberg as Sorceress, Alicia Silverstone, the former Clueless actress, is coming back as well, and she was also in Batman and Robin, which pretty much makes her a hero already right there in and of itself. She's coming back, and she's coming into this as Queen Marlena. Justin Long, obviously we remember him from so many movies. He's coming in as Roboto. Jason Mewes, who's Kevin Smith's counterpart in Jay and Silent Bob's, all the Strikes Back and all the other Jay and Silent Bob movies. He's coming in as Stinkor. Phil Lamar as Hero, which is, we haven't seen Phil Lamar in a very long time. He's been doing a lot of voiceover stuff for Justice League, but if you remember him, he was on Mad TV. Tony Todd as Scareglow, which is really cool because Tony Todd has always been, he's always had this, creepiness about him, which makes him a perfect creepy character like that. Cree Summer as Priestess. Kevin Michael Richardson as Beastman, Kevin Conroy as Merman. Now, Kevin Conroy, this is going to be a reunion between Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill because Kevin Conroy was the original voice of Batman in the animated series, so that's going to be pretty cool. He was also on Crisis on Infinite Earths very recently as also Batman. And finally, Harley Quinn Smith, which is Kevin Smith's daughter, she's going to be playing Lena. So suffice it to say, this is going to be an all-star cast for the new He-Man animated series. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually curious to see how they're going to pick up where He-Man, the 1980s version He-Man, left off. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Kevin Smith also had this to say about the project. I cannot believe the lineup of talent I get to play with. The incredible star-studded cast that Mattel's Rob David and Netflix's Ted Biaselli assembled for our Masters of the Universe series will let Any lifelong He-Man fan know we're treating this cartoon seriously and honoring the legendary world of Eternia with A-list talent. Chris, Sarah, Mark, Lena, and the other amazing actors and actresses have given performances so powerful and real in a show that features a talking giant green tiger. With these fantastic performers behind our characters, it'll be crazy easy to immerse yourself in the swords and sorcery of our epic sci-fi soap opera. Man, I'm looking, if it's Kevin Smith, it's gonna actually be good. I gotta admit, Kevin Smith always takes pride in a lot of these comic books. He's a huge fan, and being a huge fan, he tends to put out the best type of product for fans because he makes them as a fan, which is really awesome. So looking forward to this new series coming into Netflix. They still haven't given us a date yet as to when it's gonna come out, but it's surely supposed to be coming out very soon. Looking forward to find out what the dates are. So from animated series to horror movies, I got the opportunity to chat with Scream Queen Sadie Katz about many of her projects having to do with horror movies and something about Room 236. Check it out. So on the Xander Effect, I have Sadie Katz. She is a Scream Queen, been in a lot of horror movies, actress, and how you doing, Sadie?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on the Xander Effect. Looks like it's a beautiful day where you're at. I'm assuming you're in California.
I am. I'm in East Side. I'm like Silver Lake.
Oh, nice.
We have a tiki backyard. So for any tiki enthusiasts, my fiance is really into tiki. So we have lots of tiki going on.
Nice. You have your own little paradise all your own.
I know.
Now. And I know the Silver Lake area because the Silver Lake area is actually really nice. I actually grew up around that sort of area myself.
Oh yeah, it's really funky. It's like we're in like Atwater Village, Silver Lake. It's kind of like it's a little frou-frou, but it's got an edge to it too. So
it's totally nice. But so we're gonna talk a little bit about your recent acts, the things that you've been doing. But before we get into that, you had fun this weekend during Oscar weekend, am I right? What you
did.
Like, it looked like I saw, because I'm stalking you on social media. I'm stalking you on Instagram right now.
Oh, stalk away. Yeah.
and I saw that you attended a couple of functions over the weekend.
I know. Well, Jimmy Starr, so he's my publicist, and his wonderful husband, Ron Russell, who I love to pieces. They're actually really good friends of ours, on top of being my publicist, and they got us into Sue Wong's gala. And I've been to the Oscars years ago, and I'll tell you a secret. They're really boring because no one really wants to be there unless they're nominated. And this gala was like a fashion show with a nice dinner, which you don't have at the Oscars till afterwards, which, is fun. The governor's ball, I went to the governor's ball and like the Vanity Fair party, which is fun. But if you're not like super famous or nominated, it can be a little bit like disheartening. Well, this party ended up being like a blast, open bar, nice red carpet, and really nice fashions. And they had like monks doing like sword things and flips. It was a really wild, fun party with over-the-top fashions. Everyone was having a blast. It was funny though, because I was going around doing like a live a live feed for my Instagram. And I kept asking everyone, what's your favorite movie? And everyone's such LA douchebags that most of them were like, couldn't name a goddamn movie. I was like, what? I said, just one movie.
They're like, we're just here for the party. We're not really here for anything else. We're here for the open bar.
I know. I was like, two people I said, I go, so what movie do you think is going to win movie of the year? And two of them that were outrageously dressed and fabulous and funny. Both of them said me. That's LA for you. You know this, though. You know this.
Born and raised in LA, so yes, I do know this. But
and there were dogs there. There were many dogs there. There were like 5 people that brought their dogs.
Oh, wow. Sounds like you had a blast at this. I mean, well, my question is, were you surprised at who won? Like, because honestly, Parasite amazing movie. The
know.
critics have gone bananas of it. But the real cool part is, and I reported about this on my last episode, is how the Oscars has now evolved. It's become more than just, okay, we're going to focus on the movies that were made here in America that are English-speaking movies. No, now they've broadened their horizons, and now they're looking at international foreign films that are not English-speaking, that are subtitled, and they gave them a shot. They actually gave them Film Movie of the Year, you know, at the Oscars. That was the biggest award ever, and they won it. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I saw it 3 times.
Wow.
Because we have the screener, and like, I mean, I know there was a little bit of like controversy. In fact, I just talked to someone last night who said that they were kind of upset. I was at a table read. They said, well, you know, they can't, then why have it win, you know, the best foreign film and the movie of the year? But I mean, that movie was extraordinary. The first time I watched it, my fiance Miles was out of town, and Miles said, you should watch Parasite, and it's really scary. I said, scary? Oh, okay. So I pop it in, and the first 20 minutes, I called him. I go, am I watching the right movie? This isn't scary, but it was cool. You know, it was edgy, or it was quirky. Then about a half hour into it, I went, what the fuck is going on? An hour into it, I went, oh my God. By the end of the movie, I went,
You're just mind blown.
And then, so my girlfriend comes over, she flies in from Miami, and I go, we got to see this movie. Have you seen it? And I mean, then we watched it again. And I mean, I don't think that's going to happen again. You know, it was an anomaly because that movie was so unique, and it kept flipping and turning. So I do think it shows like growth from the Academy, that they're acknowledging like, this is a movie that is, I mean, I jumped up. So we're at the gala. And I'll tell you, we didn't really watch much of the Oscars, which was kind of weird because they were doing the fashion shows. So we saw a couple of the awards in between.
Oh, so they were doing it simultaneously. They were doing the fashion show and the Oscars at the same time.
Sort of. Yeah. So we were like, I go, okay, finally, okay, we're going to see who won, which was kind of, you know, funny. So then when that film won, everyone was really quiet. I thought there's not a chance in hell it's going to win. And when it won, because I tend to get really excited about things, I jumped up and I was like, yes, how cool. And I thought it was really cool that we were there. So obviously, you know, it's a lot of Asians, and I would think that that's a win for, you know, I know it's a Korean film, but for Asians to be acknowledged, because Americans lump all Asians together because we're racist assholes. You know, 4% of actors are of Asian descent. So I think it's really important that they're having a representation in film, and, you know, it's a big deal. So I was like, wow, this is cool that we're here with like actors that are acknowledging that, you know, it's important, and they have their story to tell too.
Well, I think this is the first time that someone of Korean descent has actually won an Oscar. I mean, I've never. Is
that true?
I think so. I've never seen any other person of Korean nationality win an Oscar, and especially in Best Director, in the category Best Director as well. That was huge. I've never.
But does it even matter? I mean, here's the crazy thing. Truthfully, the film wasn't good because it had anything like, yes, it was a Korean story because of where it took place in the class system there, but it was just fucking brilliant. I mean, it was brilliant no matter what, which is what was kind of cool. Like, the storytelling was really wild. So, I mean, that's kind of, you know, like, I get excited about things, but I'm not really a social justice warrior per se. And so I was like, dude, this story is fucking wacky. Like, it's wacky.
Well, my thing is, it's not so much about it being social justice. I mean, in a sense, it is, because, I mean, if you look at the track record of the Oscars, they usually go for the most popular or the the Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg's. They always go for the most popular all the time.
Do they for the best? Like lately, I mean, they do and they don't. Like Brad Pitt winning.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that this is growth. Like we just talked about, it's growth.
Yeah.
Because they're starting
I
to
agree.
actually expand, the way of looking at film. It's no longer political. It's no longer, something.
Right.
Because we all know the Oscars is very political. It's always been political for years. So seeing this happen at the Oscars, and then last year, I think it was the first Latin American that won an Oscar, and then
you're right.
I mean, it's starting to show that the Oscars are starting to grow. They're starting to go outside of the norm, which is really great because it's it's time for a change. I mean, evolution. We're evolving. We're changing. We're starting to see things in a different light. So
what do you think though that nobody's so it had the worst viewership?
The ratings, yes, I talked about that as well.
But you know what? It's time that the Oscars doesn't go on. It's time that the Oscars maybe doesn't go on Prime News and Prime channels, and it goes on,
ABC
streaming.
ABC's a pretty prime channel because it was on.
That's what I'm saying. What if it changes?
But I think, in my opinion, and again, I talked about this as well in my last episode, is the fact of the matter that I think that it's just the viewers are just so desensitized because they see everything, like you said, on social media, streaming sites. Not many people are watching television anymore because there's really nothing good on TV anymore. So they just click the channel, or they go on Netflix, on Hulu, Disney Plus.
Or they're checking on their phone. They don't even need to watch it.
Exactly. So that's why that's what might be a factor as to why viewership has gone down. I mean, it's not just the Oscars, it's just viewership in general on all networks, because everybody is focused now on streaming sites. Because me personally, I don't like watching a show and watching commercials on with the show. I like binge watching. I like watching everything.
Me too.
I do not like, okay, this is great. Yes, now I gotta wait 3 minutes for a commercial. Great. To go.
We're such assholes.
I mean,
we can't watch 3 minutes.
We want what we want. What can we say? We don't want to
so spoiled.
Oh my God, what happened next? And go to commercial. No, I don't want that. I want to know what happens next now. I'm spoiled like that.
I kind of get to with the Oscars, I'm always like it's not like I get that. I got excited about the guys from Parasite winning, the director from Parasite, because I thought that was an exciting thing. But for me to watch Brad Pitt win an Oscar, I'm not like, oh my God, he needed to win some more. That rich, beautiful man who just wakes up every day hi, I'm Brad Pitt. I'm winning. I'm not good for him. I don't give a shit if Brad Pitt has an Oscar.
At the end of the day, it's more along the lines of the Oscar is just basically, in my opinion, it's just something to show an accomplishment, one of the biggest accomplishments an actor, director, producer can have. Aside from obviously the Golden Globes, aside from Emmys, aside from all these things, the Oscars is the Mecca. This is the one where every director, producer, writer, cinematographer, director of photography, editor, everybody is looking forward to, because this gives them a huge notoriety in the eyes of the rest of the world. So it's not so much about, oh yeah, I won. No, it's about, okay, I won. I'm somebody. People recognize my hard work over the years.
Oh, what about Adam? Did you see Adam Sandler's speech on the Independent Spirit Awards?
No.
Oh my God. So he gave the second we're done here, you have to Google it, because I'm a huge fan of Uncut Gems. Now, and I know this is going to sound like I'm full of shit, but of course I would want to win an Oscar, but the Independent Spirit Awards, no one campaigns for that. That's people that's actors who are doing indie films, even if they're big actors like Adam Sandler, and they're given for literally the best performance, the best acting. It's not about being beautiful or glamorous. And he gives the funniest speech and the most heartfelt. Now I cried over that because I loved Uncut Gems. Like I'm obsessed with that movie. I would, if someone said you could have been in that movie as, you know, his chick who was super hot and I wasn't going to play her because she's like super young, hot, and she's got a booty that says what? I might have cut off like a pinky toe.
Nice.
But I love that film so hard. I would love to work with what are they, the Safdie brothers?
Mm-hmm.
So rad. Did you see that film?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, you got some shit to do when we get off the phone. You got some
Put me on the spot right now.
Did you see a Honey Pie?
There's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. I've been so
You're
focused on
too
the news.
busy working.
I really am. I gotta have a life one of these days, but I will do it eventually.
I did binge watch. I did. I have to admit. Oh, where'd you go? Okay, I binge watched, and I saw like a couple of films when I got back, and I stayed up like all night long just watching films and crying my eyes out. That was me.
Well, I got to go ahead and do that eventually. But you know what? We've completely gone on a tangent. We're supposed to talk about you here, not about everybody else.
No, I don't.
Let's go ahead. Well, I wanted to focus a little bit, you know, about the fact of the matter that you have, along with Felisa Rose, you're promoting your new channel, Room 236 on Thrillflix. What's Room 236 about?
Okay, so it's a streaming channel, and I'll say that it is like, you know, it's $3.99 a month, and these films are really super quirky and strange. There's this one, it's The Glass Coffin. Please watch that. I want to hear your thoughts. And she's wonderful in it. It's a Spanish film, and I absolutely love it. It's a indie film, and she gets locked in this limo. The whole thing takes place in this limo, and it is terrifying, scary. She gives an amazing performance. It's also, some people walked out of it. Some people stayed and loved it. She's being honored for a Lifetime Achievement Award in the film, and that's when shit goes down. We discovered this film, and I absolutely love it. Dylan Reynolds from All Channel is the one who helped negotiate the deal. There's also a film called Three Little Pigs, and it's a modern adaptation of Three Pigs, but they're men with pig snouts, and it's kind of a gangster movie. It's the weirdest fucking film. You should get really high and watch this movie. I am not joking. I am in love with it. So it's a streaming channel that Felisa and I are curating these really weird movies. Some of them are movies that we got and you're like, this movie, how did it even get made? I do not know. Who gave the money for this? I do not know. But it's such a like, if you're in film, it's such a miracle when a film is edited and distributed. And it's an act of love. It's also an act of being a complete crazy person, because it's so much work. And Thrillflix came to me. They're from Belgium. And they came to me and said, we want to do a site by producers for producers that even if they only make $6 on their film for the year, they at least make money on their film. And I really liked that. And they're still finding their way. It's really hard because there's so many streaming services. So right now we're still figuring out the edges. But for $3.99 a month, you get to watch crazy movies. They have a bunch of, if you like Chinese films that are a bunch of karate films, this is your place to see them. Bruce Lee versus zombies. If you like old films that are hilarious, there's a bunch of, you know, the sleepaway films that are fun, a bunch of knockoff films. And then there's some gems in there that it's worth it. You're also really putting money in the filmmakers' pockets. This is my quest this year, is to encourage people to sign up and support the filmmakers. We're getting a very little part of the film. The filmmakers are getting a part of the film, and Thrillflix is right now, we're trying to keep it alive and figure out how to sustain it in a world of of a billion streaming services. Eventually it will probably be free, and we'll show an advertisement at the beginning and one at the end, not one in the middle, but we're still finding our way. But Felicity and I are really proud of the venture, and we're going to keep supporting it, and eventually ask filmmakers if they would like to have one of the things that's a global streaming service.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it.
No, that's really cool.
So it's thrillflix.com.
Thrillflix. Yeah, no, I saw the site. I saw a couple of the movies there. I'm like, oh, they have Bruce Lee on here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
because I like
cool.
martial arts, so I actually took a look at the site myself. So, but aside from Thrillflix, you also Thrillflix. That's a tongue twister. Aside from that,
say it 3 times. Thrillflix.
It's like Beetlejuice. Aside from that, you're also just completed a couple of movies. You completed, I believe it was Clown Fear and Hanukkah.
I did. So they're calling it Clown Fear. Bless their hearts. So it's coming out by Lionsgate. It's coming out this month. They're doing the premiere next week. I play Carly Summers, and I'm a runaway bride. And guess what happens? My car breaks down.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. And it breaks down in the worst town possible. It's this
of course
town.
It does.
I know. And my maid of honor is played by Augie Duke, who is terribly funny and adorable, and whose career is blowing up, which I knew it would. And my terrible clown boyfriend in this is Randy Wayne, who is sexy and fabulous in this. And we have a couple other fun treats as far as names that you'll just have to see it and see. It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy. It's a lot of fun. I play, very spunky. I wrote it to kind of be like a horror Bridesmaids. I haven't seen the completed project. I hear it's fun. Lionsgate picked it up. So look for it in some stores. I'm thinking Walmart and Target. Maybe it will hit Redbox, but it will be out, and it will be out streaming. I'm excited about that. And Hanukkah. Oh, I'm going to show you this because I just got this.
We're going on a trip here. We're going on a trip. Hold on.
We're going on a trip.
Don't
see that I didn't make my bed.
It almost looks like, to me, that it's almost like a Star Trek right now.
I know.
Like, oh, Scotty, it's all shaking all over the place.
I know. Sorry. And where did I put it? So I got a VHS copy.
Oh wow, VHS.
Hanukkah.
That is old school right there.
The freaking coolest thing ever. I didn't realize how cool it was. So I opened up my mail and I went, oh my God, I'm blown away.
Oh, wow.
Is that cool? So it's available on DVD, but it's also available on VHS.
That's so crazy. I can't believe they're still making movies on VHS.
Is this dope? It's a special collector's edition, and I got to show you the inside because I did not know how nostalgic I would feel. I actually smelt the inside of the box. And I was like, this is wild. This is also Sid Haig's last film, which he does a really marvelous job in this because he passed away. But look at that, My Way Home Video. Wow. And it's numbered. So they have, I think, 5 different colors. And there's me with a ball bag in my mouth. Lungs out.
I think VHS should come back in style. I don't know. I mean, I still have a VHS player, actually.
I think it is. So there's Sid and Caroline Williams, PJ Souls, who I love the pants off of. She plays my mom, which is crazy because she's fabulous and she's lovely. And I play a little bitchy woman, and they made me look much younger than I am. Thank the Lord. They also CGI'd my vagina, which So I just kept running around at the premiere saying, it's not what my vagina looks like. I don't know why it looks like a fish. But
So wait a minute. So what is this movie about exactly? Not like, you got me curious
it's
about it.
literally about it's funny. A group of Jewish young adults.
It seems like it's all over the place. So that's why I'm just like, I wonder what.
Well, it's not. So the first screening, if you saw it, was rough because it just came out, and they re-edited it. So I'm sorry, I'm plugging in my phone so I don't lose you. And it's really just about a group of young adults who are, it's Hanukkah and they're not following the rules, and the rabbi comes to get them, and it's a really overzealous rabbi played by Joe, I'm going to say his name wrong, Joe Kidder, and Kane Hodder is in it. Who else is in it? Or no, the stunt coordinator is Kane Hodder. And it's with the help of a wise rabbi, they deduce that they're being targeted because they violated the Judaic law. And their only chance of survival is to embrace the faith. It's actually really funny. It's funny and it's scary and it's really gory. I will say this, it's really gory.
Is it funny to you, or is it supposed to be funny?
No. It's supposed to be funny. So, I invited some of my girlfriends who are adults, like they're my mom friends. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't know how you're going to feel about this. It's really gory. I saw the first cut and it's intense. And then we watched it and it's so funny. There's a lot of, it's very much like an 80s slasher film.
Oh, okay.
So it's that kind of thing.
So the VHS packaging would make sense because, that's 80s right there. Yeah,
and there's a poster that comes with it. So, I would definitely, the style and the timing is very 80s slasher. And I wouldn't be surprised if when this is released on DVD that it becomes like a big hit. It was at drive-ins. They did a really good job marketing it. And all the kids, the young adults, I don't know what they did to my face. They airbrushed it, and I look like I'm 24, which I'm not under the delusion that I look 24, but I do look very young in this. I'm the stuck-up bitch. There's the girl who's the goth. There's the young nerd. There's the hot jock, and so we're all these 80s stereotypes, and there's a lot of very funny lines, funny moments, and then there's kind of the adult storyline that's sets up the killer.
Of course.
And it actually ended up being a film that I thoroughly enjoyed, and there's a lot of moments where you're like, what the fuck? And then there's some levity. I really enjoyed it. It's very good.
No, that's really cool. So you have these two projects that are out. What are you working on currently? What's your latest project that you're working on currently?
So I have this film that I shot in June in Italy called Megan. And
that must have been fun being in Italy.
Oh my God, was it? Which I did with Greg Travis, who was in Showgirls and Starship Troopers and a billion other films, and Randy Wayne, who's in everything, who I also did Clown Fear with. And it's sort of Misery meets Hard Candy. It's a sex revenge. Yeah, it's a sex revenge thriller, and I get my revenge in some devious ways. It's shot very, very well.
So you're the main star on this one. You're the killer. You're the psychopath.
And it's shot very, very well. It's because it's the Italians don't fuck around when they shoot. Some of the shots. It's so funny because in LA, I would be like, okay, I'm just coming in to go pour some coffee, right? Mm-hmm. And then I walk in and they're setting up a dolly crane, and I'm like, can't we just do one shot where I'm pouring the goddamn coffee? They're like, no, you come in, the camera follows you, and I'm like,
you're like, okay.
Okay. Everything's very intense. Yeah. The film is very, I saw it. It's good. It's scary. I'm scary as fuck. It's sexy in a twisted way. I mean,
when is it slated to come out?
it's going to come out, and we've got a couple distributors looking at it. I think it's going to come out in the next few months. We're waiting for their cycle. And then Amityville Harvest is being released through Lionsgate. That's a vampire movie with Kyle Lauder.
You're all about the horror.
Well, Megan is a thriller, so there's a bunch of twist endings in there. So that's a thriller. And then next Christmas, I'll be in It's a Fargo Christmas. Oh, geez. So, it's a little bit different. And, don't you know? That will be fun. Don't you know? So I'm not just doing horror. I'm trying to break it up.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, you betcha. I'm actually super excited. Ed Asner's in that. Richard Reel.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fun one because I love Christmas. So I have a Christmas movie, and then I have Hanukkah.
Nice, nice. Well, Sadie, thank you so much. I mean, it sounds like you have a huge, array of things that are happening for you. So happy for you. I hope that I get to maybe visit you on set, interview you a little bit on set, which would be a lot of fun. I would love to do that. And just watch you in action. That would be really cool to have. But other than that, I mean, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect. You were so much fun to talk with. Love going on the little tour of your house, and and hearing the crazy stories that you have. I mean, I look forward to having you on here again very soon.
Please, thank you so much. You're awesome. And I know that we will meet another time. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks a lot, Sadie Katz.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much, Sadie, for being on the Xander Effect. Looking forward to chatting with you again very soon. In sports, Simone Johnson, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter, just got signed to the WWE. She's going to be the fourth generation of that family that's going to be wrestling and representing the Johnson slash Maivia family. So it should be very interesting. She's also going to be the first female of her family that's going to be entering WWE wrestling. So that should also be really cool. I'm sure it means a lot to her, to Dwayne Johnson as well, to see that her daughter is continuing on the legacy of his family. Recently, as many of you know, Rocky Johnson Sr., Dwayne Johnson's father, passed away suddenly, actually, and Dwayne Johnson took it very, very hard because, I mean, Rocky Johnson was pretty much the one that trained his son how to become a wrestler. Dwayne Johnson comes from a long line. You have High Chief Peter Maivia that was a part of that same family, the Wild Samoans, Sika, all of them. I mean, even Roman Reigns is also part of that legacy as well. So it's one of those things where it means a lot that out of all those male, strong, dominant male role models that this young lady's had, she is gonna be a part of that legacy now, and she's cementing her own legacy as the first female to enter wrestling. However, the question here is she going to be met with the same type of greeting that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson received when he first appeared? Now, if you remember, if many of you wrestling fans remember, when he first started out in WWE, back then it was WWF, Rocky, he came in as Rocky, as pretty much Rocky Maivia. That was his name, Rocky Maivia. He came as Rocky Maivia. Everybody knew him to be Rocky Johnson's son. They were booing him when he first came out. They did not like him. That's the reason why he turned heel. And because he was so good at turning heel, he was actually really, it wasn't so much that the heel turn was hard for him. He actually enjoyed turning heel because he was angry at the fans turning on him for no reason. He looked at it as, I got myself here on my own, so why are people disrespecting me just because I'm the son of, I'm third generation? I mean, it's not right. So he took on the mantle of heel so well that he won over the crowd and they started loving him because he was hilarious. He had charisma. He brought his own personality into wrestling, which was really cool. The question is Simone going to have to take the same type of treatment that The Rock did, or is she going to come in because she's a female, because she's the first female to go in there? Are they going to hype her up in that type of blanket? It's yet to be seen. Is she going to have the same talent as her father, her grandfather, her great-grandfather, her cousins? Is she going to have that type of talent as well? All of this it remains to be seen. I mean, if the WWE signed her, granted, it could be nepotism. It could be because she's a legacy. It could be any reason. But at the end of the day, I doubt that the WWE would hire somebody if they didn't have any talent. So they must see something in her. She must have some sort of wrestling talent for them to have signed her to a contract with their developmental, with the developmental side of WWE. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows where we're going to go? I mean, Charlotte Flair, she's doing fantastic. I mean, she's an incredible athlete, daughter of Ric Flair, and there's many others that have been doing pretty well for themselves. So it's yet to see what happens with Simone. We'll see what goes on the moment she gets in front of those spotlights for, and represents the Maivia Johnson family. In other sports news, the Astros, the Houston Astros, they want to be over it. Yeah, they want to be over it. Yeah, because you cheated. You cheated, guys. You cheated. You got caught. So suddenly you want people to forget about this? Not likely. Los Angeles Dodger pitcher Cody Bellinger went ahead and he said, these guys were cheating for 3 years. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us. Damn it, he's right. They stole the ring from us, okay? It's not fair that these guys could walk around thinking that they are World Series champions. They're not. They're cheaters. They cheated, and they need to be stripped of that championship. Not only stripped, but they need to not be playing baseball at least for one season. I mean, if Manchester United is getting punished right now and they're going to be gone for a season or so, then guess what, Astros? You guys need to have the same type of fate happen to you. Not just, oh, well, we're over it. Come on, guys. You guys, of course you guys are over it. And the pitcher, the Astros pitcher, Brad Peacock, said, we're moving forward. We've put it behind us. Yes, you've put it behind us. What about the rest of us baseball fans? What about the rest of us Los Angelinos that felt that we got screwed? You guys had an amazing World Series. You had one of the series that ended in 17, 18, 19 innings? That was fantastic. Why did you go ahead and destroy that? You ruined that, guys. By cheating. This is the worst thing that you could ever do. Astros manager Dusty Baker also said, it is in the past now. I'm hoping the players don't have to answer any more questions about it, because how many times can you say the same thing? It's time for us to get to work, put it behind us, ask for forgiveness. The guys said they were sorry. Yeah, because saying sorry is going to go ahead and change the fact that Los Angeles got screwed out of a title because of cheating. That's going to go ahead and make everything disappear. Saying sorry is going to make everything just all better. No, I'm sorry, Houston Astros. You need to pay for what you did. And I don't know how in the world you're going to do it. Like I said, a couple of suggestions: strip them of the title and take them off for a season. That should really hurt them, and that's the point. It's called a punishment for a reason. So we'll see what the MLB decides to do in the coming months as far as the investigation continues on that matter. In video game news, Battlefield 5 has an update. Basically, the developers of Battlefield 5 felt that the tanks were a little bit too overpowered. They kept on respawning over and over again. So they have an update that just came out. It cuts tanks on the field in half, reducing tank spawn rate on breakthroughs first sector. In addition, they also added new weapons to the update. They also added the Type 11 LMB, Model 37 shotgun, M2 carbon rifle, and many more. So Battlefield 5 owners, Get ready because there's a lot going on in this update that you're definitely going to want to have. That's the Xander Effect for you. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Thank you for watching. A little bit on the side note, from this point forward, the Xander Effect is going to be doing somewhat a little bit, we're changing the format a little bit for the Xander Effect. I'm going to be playing a little bit of music for you guys. Maybe not doing so much of the visual from time to time, but you never know, I might surprise you. And mainly focusing on entertaining you guys with entertainment, sports, and video games, and with a little bit of music so you guys could go ahead and have a good time on this show. Thanks again for watching the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames, and I will see you next time.
Live it up. B. Taylor. Flow Rida. Live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the live it up. Start the live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the live it up.
Like tightrope, no talking, not that of a maestro. More like that lizard from Geico.
The Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., BMG, and Sony Music The Orchard, in association with Art 19 Media. Hi guys, thanks a lot for watching this episode of the Xander Effect. Now, if you like this video or any of my other videos, here's a couple right here. See? Right here. They're right here. Go ahead and click on those to view some of my past videos, and make sure to subscribe because it's awesome. See you next time on the Xander Effect. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram.